Hey, this is Micah. Today we're going to put on a traction pad. First of all, you'll need some supplies to do this. 1, a traction pad. 2, paper towels or cloth. 3, a pencil. 4, acetone. 5, sandpaper. And 6, some type of a straight edge to push the corners down on the pad. Is remove the pad from the packaging. Today we're applying the Timmy Reyes micro dot traction pad. What I like to do first is get a real high grit sandpaper. This is a 220, and just give the tail just a real slight sand. And what this does, it'll rough up the area that you want to apply the pad. It'll make it make for a better area for the pad to adhere to. Second, what you need to do is get either a cloth or a paper towel and wipe down any of the residue that may be on the board. Any dirt, any oils, any foam residue. Once you do that and you're confident that the deck is clean, you want to do the initial pad placement. So before you actually stick the pad on the board, it's always good to just dry fit it for placement. And what I do is I look at the tail, look at the plug, kind of see where I would like it to be ideally. And I use the centerpiece, and actually use the circular logo on the centerpiece on this pad to make sure that it's centered right on the stringer. What you also want to check for is to make sure that the pad is placed right over, at least a little bit over the two forward fin boxes on the board. So what I'm going to do next, now that I have it kind of dry fit on the board exactly where I think I'm going to want the pad, is I'll get a pencil and I'll hold the pad down and I'll kind of mark just where the pad is sitting on the top and on the sides. So now that we have all our points marked along the front, back, and side of the pad, we're going to go ahead and apply the pad. And the best way to apply the pad is to start with the centerpiece. The centerpiece, once you place this, it'll make it easier for you to place the side pieces in the right position. So what I want to do is peel back the 3M adhesive on there. And then go ahead and line it up with the marks that you put on the board. And it's always a good idea to just put the pad down lightly and not completely adhere it, just to make sure that the placement is correct. So we have the centerpiece down, and now what we want to do is we want to start putting the side pieces down. And this is where the marks make it really helpful for you. We're going to go ahead and we're going to line it up with the marks that we put on the pad. Now that we have the pad on the board, it's a good idea to either get a rolling pin, or you can use your hands and press down all the edges. This will prevent water from getting underneath the pad. That's the main fail with traction pads, is you get water underneath the pad and it makes the adhesive fail. Sure that the kick, especially towards the edges, is down nice and tight, and you can't see any gaps underneath there. So what I like to do is either get a straight edge, like a ruler like this, or a book, or something with a straight edge and a real hard straight edge, and go along the areas that I think may pull up and really push it down board well. I'll do this right at the kick, right at the base of the kick there, and then also right around, if the pad does have an arch bar, right around the arch bar. And this will make sure that the pad stays down nice and tight. And that's how to install a trash pad.